Liverpool and Paris Saint-Germain, the two teams which have essentially ruined my love for football this season. Coming away from last season, being so close to the title, getting 89 points, 2 points off Manchester City, I thought, coming into this one, this is our year. Nobody can stop us. Liverpool, no. City, no. Champions League, we got knocked out narrowly in the quarterfinals, where I thought, let's get some firepower in the team and we'll be all right. We look on a year later, the same issues. No firepower, so close yet so far. And it's making me think, is my football club just going to be that club which are nearly there? Are we always going to be an almost side? Are people always going to be able to laugh at my club and predict what's going to happen painfully because that's just who we are? Are we serial second place? Is this where we are? Have we peaked? So many questions. People bring up the Tottenham side under Pochettino and say there's some alarming comparisons and similarities between the two sides. I would love not to think that way. But football, what happens, it humbles you. It really does. First of all, the Premier League. Going into the season, let's talk about that. I thought, you know what? Arsenal, we've done an all right window. Not the sort of window that's going to take you to the title, if I'm going to be honest, in terms of just getting Calafiori and Marino in. I thought that was quite poor with Raya, of course, on a permanent. I thought, you know what? It's not the best. It's not the best. It doesn't scream at you, but probably it's enough. I really, really did think that. But then we start and we see Liverpool starting to kick into gear, start the season. And I watched them lose to Nottingham Forest, and I'll be very, very honest with you. I thought, yep, this is just going to be the same season where Liverpool lead all the way up until Christmas, then have an inevitable drop-off. How was I proved wrong? They just kept chugging along. There was a time where we could have closed the gap to 5 points if we beat West Ham. And that was about it in terms of how close we got to Liverpool. The game at the Emirates Stadium, I think with the injuries we had, we played off Liverpool. I really, really do think we played better than them. But they have X-Factor players. Trent's assist to Salah, X-Factor. Van Dijk, best centre half, scores a header into the back of the net. They have winners. Players that know how to operate at different game states. Arsenal, couldn't tell you in that front line apart from Saka and Dek and Saliba, the core of the team. Who's going to grab the game by the scruff of its neck? In the defensive sense, in an attacking sense, in a midfield sense. Odegaard, for me, no. For me, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You look at the other teams, though. Liverpool don't have a pure creator. Szoboszlai, great energy like Odegaard, but has his production been fantastic? No. But has he sort of come up in the big moments this season? Yes, away to Manchester City. He was key. He scored. So many games this season, Szoboszlai has had his moments that you can say that game was won by Dominic Szoboszlai. Can't say that for Odegaard this season. You're looking at the front line. I know we've had so many injuries, and maybe we'd have been a lot closer to Liverpool with the injuries, but I can't even guarantee you guys that we would have won the league. So the reality is, Liverpool, they've completely destroyed what I thought this season would be for Arsenal. Because even if they played at a slightly less level, that slightly less level would have been enough to win the league anyway. If Liverpool lose every single game from now until the end of the season, I guarantee Arsenal will still be 7 points behind them. We aren't even going to get to the point where we're 6 behind them. We're not beating them at Anfield. I think it hurts the fact that we're getting knocked out of this competition. And we're now going to have to give Liverpool a guard of honour at the Emirates. And I'm now looking at the contract situations of Saliba, of Saka, of those big players. And I'm thinking to myself, do they just see the club as a team that's always going to be nearly? Will they want to go out there and win? They deserve to win. Today, I think, against PSG, Saliba was one of the best players on the pitch. His dueling capacity, how he was winning against those PSG centre-forwards and attackers, he was unreal. For Declan Rice as well, had his moments. He tailed off to the end of the game. Thought Saka did enough. He created a goal. He had a tap in which he probably should have scored. And he did score. And the creation, he put in beautiful balls into the box and no one's gambling. So you're looking at this and you're thinking the owners, have they not done enough for us? PSG, you're looking at that front line they had. Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, 75 million in January. Barcola, that's a 60 million player easily. Desiree Doué, 45 million player who's absolutely unreal. Looking at that midfield, João Neves, what was it, 60 million? Vitinha, fantastic little player, 35 mil or something like that. Fabian Ruiz from Napoli, unreal. Experience, Marquinhos is in there. Nuno Mendes, a fantastic fullback at 25. Hakimi, I don't think I may have said his name. And it's just demoralising, really, because what now? What do I do now? This season is pretty much just fizzled out. I'm at the point where the last 3 games of the season, do I even care about the Premier League? No, not at all. Do I care if we finish 2nd, 3rd, 4th or 5th? No. And the fact we may not even finish in the 2nd place, it just goes to show. It really goes to show. This season, it's drained me. It's drained me, and it needs to end. It needs to end. So needs to end. I had so much hope for both competitions, for both of them at the start of the season. Thought we'd finally put behind the narrative that Arsenal were Netflix FC. Every hurdle, we proved the people right. That we're Netflix FC, that we're not good enough at this and that. And I think the more the frustration is as well, we're a good team. Trolling aside, if you are watching this video, you must recognise that Arsenal, we're a good team. We're just missing something. There's always something missing. We may get a striker next season. Then we'll find Odegaard's the problem. He's not creating it enough. We then get someone to bring in to replace Odegaard. Saliba's probably gone by then. You've got to then replace Saliba, which is impossible. You've got to then replace Saka, who might think, okay, we've had this season with a striker. We've still not won the league. I want to go and win stuff at Real Madrid. Maybe even makes the dart across to the Manchester City. It just feels like a missed opportunity, really. It really, really does. But hey, one consolation is, do I think we would have won the final against Inter Milan? They're defensively stronger than PSG. You know, I saw us once we scored that first goal. PSG absolutely crumbled. Could have got all 3, actually. Who would have known if Saka put it away? Fine margins in football. Fine margins. The difference between a team that's going to win and a team which is going to carry on losing. But hey, I'm genuinely positive. But, you know, Liverpool and PSG killed all the hopes I had of this season. And it's going to take a while to process how we can go on from here. I believe in the boys. I love my club. But ultimately, we've got to be prepared, because big changes will need to happen in the summer to take us again to that next level.